Heads up, people, I am now partnered with Rogue Energy. And Rogue Energy, if you don't know what it is an energy drink which is fantastic. It doesn't have sugar, it's vegan, no gluten, and you have 3 different lines. One that it's literally no caffeine, so it's basically in a hydration line. You got the normal line with tons and tons of flavors, as you can see through the website. I'll be leaving a link in the description. And you also have one final line with double the caffeine, so pre-workout kind of scenario there for you guys. You can go into the website right now, just browse around, see if you have anything that might be interesting for you. And you can use code Kreepers to get a 20% discount, which is fantastic. It has no shipping inside of the USA. Unfortunately, for outside, you might have to pay something to ship it out to there. But I personally have already had a couple things shipped into my house, and I'm not gonna lie, I tested them out, all of them, and they are amazing. So it's free to check out. I mean, you can go to the website right now and see if there's anything interesting for you. If not, then no harm's way. But don't forget, code Kreepers and get that 20% off. Jesus, the amount of ads on this screen. I got ads below, top, left, right, miles. At least you guys can tell that I'm definitely not using any ad blocks or something, because otherwise I would have nothing around me. All right, but this is definitely my first ever tier list. The reason why I wanted to go for the items tier list is because it's a bit of a more, I don't know, I'd say easy, like, to go right now. And obviously, like everybody knows, please understand one thing. A tier list does not mean it's official. A tier list is a personal sort of tastes or thoughts, whatever you want to call it. All right, so just because I might say, oh yes, Cauterize is D, that does not mean that it is. All right, this is just in my opinion. Obviously, Cauterize doesn't even exist anymore. It's part of base kit. Because this is not actually updated, and I don't really know how to right now to go and change everything, I'm going to assume the Cauterize will be the new item. And if you don't know what that item is, let me show it to you, because people might be seeing this in the future. We don't know. And yes, I am recording this. We are here with the live stream. But give me a second here. I just want to show the item and what it does. So the item is Lethality. Lethality will now currently, as of the moment that I'm doing this tier list, it will increase your movement speed by 20, 40, and 60% corresponding its tiers, and also increase the jump height by 60%, 120%, and 180%. All of this for 3.5 seconds after getting elimination. So you don't really even need a kill. You just need an assist. So any sort of assist will get you up to 60% movement speed and 180% jump height for 3.5 seconds. Now, I'm going to be honest, I started to grow a little bit of a love for Lethality. And the reason why I'm saying that is because, I'm sorry, but Nimble is not on its prime. It used to be 10, 20, 30%, and it used to be awesome. Somehow they decided they wanted to nerf that, and, well, Lethality now exists with over-the-top numbers, and I'm just here thinking, why can't we not buff the Nimble again, you're right? But whatever. So yes, Lethality is going to be the one that I'm going to be using as Cauterize. And if you don't know what it does, I've already said it, but I want to show it to you real quick here. As soon as you get an assist or a kill, you see here the speed that I have, and then it stops. Also, it has an issue, however, which is if you are in the middle of the air, it will make you lose momentum. You can see here my jump height, and then you just saw there that right there, I lost momentum. And that, you know, unfortunately, is not ideal. So right now, it's the only issue for me with this item. So let's go here into items and I'm going to straight up just go and grab Life Rip and put it on D tier. I know a lot of people are going to be like, hey, yo, it doesn't have to go D tier. Listen, Cauterize is passive right now. Every single person has it. Every single person, including the supports that usually they didn't before. So this This doesn't help you in anything. As you start off against a 35% already reduction on what you're going to make from this. Because unless the person is sitting still, or unless you're playing sniper, like this is only valuable right now for people who play at long range or are not being affected by cauterize. Alright, like you have a Canessa sitting all the way to the back, there's nobody flanking you or whatnot. You can just buy a life rip and get some heals for every shot you're making. Strix, same thing. But those are the only situations where this is good. You're thinking, oh yeah, but I'll go Koga and I'll go life rip and so on. Yeah, but as soon as you're like 5 minutes into the game, that item is no longer doing anything good for you. Absolutely nothing. Like those numbers are not even going to save you from one single shot from an IO or a Dumba, so forget it. Alright. What else? I'm going to have to grab Kill to Heal, the new Kill to Heal, and put it up there on S tier, just because I keep forgetting, like, when I started this patch, which is where they changed and Kill to Heal now heals through Cauterize, I kept forgetting that this item was actually here, and how good it was. But I'm going to be honest, I love it. I absolutely love it. Whether you are a tank, a support, a flank, it doesn't matter. This is life-changing. The entire fighting system, all it takes is for one domino piece to fall, and automatically the fight rearranges itself. You have 3 people on each side, on each team, fighting each other, right? You're attacking all each other and so on, back and forth. And there's one person is about to die, but he managed to kill somebody from the enemy team, and boom! It's like a new light from the sky just shines upon you and says, no, you'll continue, and you'll even do more. I know that it's only up to 600, but I'm actually good with that, because, I mean, there's 5 people on the enemy team. If they all start dying, before the 5th element is dead, you already went full health back up. Like, it's like literally the first team to start losing 1 or 2 members. If everybody has Kill to Heal, that team who's losing the members, they lost. They lost that fight. There's no way. It's like it's a snowball effect, and this is really impactful when it comes to it. All right, Kronos. Where would I put my Kronos? I would not put it below S, A, or B. I'm gonna put it on A. Just because, you know, like there's still some champions out there coming out right now that they're not coming out with cooldowns. So it's not going to be useful on every single situation. And, for example, you have Lilith now, where to me, Kronos is only essential for the Swarm. So it's not the most essential thing. Sati came out, she doesn't even have cooldowns. You know, and Kronos is super good. It is good, but it gets affected by diminishing returns. You have cards that reduce... not diminishing returns, sorry. I'm explaining myself bad here, poorly. Imagine that you have cards that reduce cooldowns to default cooldowns of your abilities, right? You have an ability that it's like 10 seconds, and you use a card to take away 3 seconds. Now you're going to stack up Kronos. Kronos is going to have a deeper impact into the 10 seconds than the new cooldown that you had before using the cards. After using the cards, sorry. So sometimes Kronos is more like to either go like to the extreme of removing as much as possible, or just in case you don't want to be running with those cards to reduce the cooldowns, and instead you prefer other things like speed, DRs, and etc. So for me, for example, I go to the extreme with Vora, for example. I got the card that reduces the cooldown of the movement ability of Tendril. I go with Kronos, and I go with the other card that reduces the cooldown of the movement ability of Tendril by hitting the Dark Siphon. So like I'll go to the extreme with this. It might not be the best way, but it's the way that I love it. All right, but I just don't think that it's like the first item you have to buy. Like it maybe for supports, not every single one of them, but it's just not that first item. In fact, one of the items that is being the most picked right now, it is Haven. Haven works with everything. After being changed for both defending direct and AoE, it works in every situation. You're taking a lot of damage, take it. You want to survive a bit longer, take it. You want to make sure that, you know, there's stuff that you cannot counter, and you will be having to take that little bit of damage, like a Swarm from Lilith. You can't counter that. You have to stay away from it. This will help you stay there in maybe an extra second or so. It is expensive, so I would probably put it on A. But I don't know. I feel like you'll hear from a lot of people that Haven is one of the choices that you don't have to think too much about it. If you're taking a lot of damage, just go with Haven. That's it. Like, no more questions. Like, Veteran is being picked a lot by a lot of people. to stack it up with Haven. But I don't feel like this is extremely necessary, because if in certain situations, this might even be your death. Certain abilities that actually work based on max HP, the more HP you have, the more damage it will do. So that's the only reason I don't want to put it on S. I might be wrong. And some people even say that this is like the same thing as Haven, but cheaper. But I still think like this only has one flaw to it. Haven only has one flaw to it, is if you have DR abilities, DR cards, diminishing returns will make it so that whichever has the lowest value from the two will be affected heavily. Alright? But that's the thing, like when you start early game, you only have Haven 1. The DR or damage reduction ability that you have, or card, whatever you have, will be the most, the strongest one, depending on the percentage you have. And this will be affected by diminishing returns. That's its only flaw, early game. But as soon as this passes over the value that the other cards have, this one is your like it's the thing that will be affecting you all the time. Every single time. You have this, it's like what, 18% damage reduction? That Strix was about to hit you for 1,000, maybe 1,200 or something. Automatically, 18% out of that shot. Right? And then if you want, you can stack it with Veteran, sure, I guess. Eliminate. Where do I even put this? Like, this is not about being good or bad. It's just like, it's when there's stealth people, you just have to buy it. That's it. In certain situations, not every character need it. Like, you get a Tyra marks, or even if she doesn't go marks, so you mark the invisible target, and his hidden ability doesn't even work anymore. You got Cassie, she can reveal Sarah's through her goddamn shadow travel for some reason now. I don't even know why. So I'm just gonna put this as C or something, maybe B, or I don't know. It's just more of like, it has to happen. Bulldozer, I'm gonna put it at C. Just because, like, it's good, it'll work if it's really, really, really necessary. But sometimes this is actually more of a bad thing for you than anything. There's cards that allow you to reduce cooldowns from just destroying the deployables, right? So you're playing Ying, you have the card that reduces the cooldowns of the next clone. If people shoot, you destroy your clones. So this is going to be actually feeding you. You've got Barrack, one-man scrap, same goddamn thing. Like, the only situations I see this is super valuable is like when in money, and even then, it is not worth it. It is 75%, first of all. It's not even the same as Record. Record is 90%. So that's weak already by itself. Like, it's, But even something, for example, you got Sati. If you shoot her clones, it reveals you. So it's even worse. Like, don't even buy it. Right? For Grok damage, you don't even want to buy this. You want the deployable so you can bounce around the things. So I might even consider dragging it down to D. We'll think about it. We'll come back to that. Resilience. Boom. All the way to the top. Number 1. If there was an SS tier, I would put it up there. And the reason why I'm saying this is because every single goddamn character that's been coming out on these last few years are just filled with CC. It is insane. It's knockbacks, it's knockups, it's fears, it's silences, it's disarming. It's like, it's getting ridiculous. At this point, if you have enough CC that, like, it literally tells you, yeah, get resilience, you better start with resilience immediately, or you're gonna have a very bad experience. It's like those 2 items that you don't, like, these 3 items right here, there's no discussion. In every single match, this will work every single time. Maybe you'll have a luck enough to have like a comp on the enemy team that has no CC. Maybe they'll pick like the older champions and so on. There's no CC, so you don't need resilience. Sure, okay, you can go for these too. It's fine. But like resilience, it is being more and more required as we go. It's getting insane. Actually insane. Oh, and I just remember one thing. I'm just gonna leave Eliminate at B and not drag it down, because it actually works now to counter the little traps from Kasumi. You can actually see the traps with this. Unfortunately, there is one issue. You cannot shoot those traps, so you cannot destroy them. So, cannot buy Resilient without it affecting my pit playstyle. Oh, so the knockback gets affected by it? Oof, unfortunate. Life Rip D? Hell yeah, Life Rip D. What do you mean? All right, let's continue. Morale. I don't see a lot of people pick Morale. Would you guys believe that the only times I see people pick morale, it is when they are going with those talents that increases their ults or changes their ults somehow? But most of these cards already come with like an extra percentage of ult charge, right? Like I see people playing Sati with coin Sati, ult percentage on hitting people with coin plus hold passive card of extra ult percentage, and then even buy morale, and I'm just like, bro, there's diminishing returns. What are you doing? If you go with the card that gives you extra percentage of the ultimate, why are you doing that? The only reasons I see morale being super good is for people that have ultimates that are extremely necessary to keep doing their job. So we're talking about like Yangs, Grovers, even Lilith, right? Like, but you don't see anybody else prioritizing morale anymore. Like everybody is going for Havens, right? I might be wrong. Correct me if anybody, like if I'm saying this wrong, but I'm pretty sure of what I'm saying. So I'm gonna actually put this on B, where it is good, it is necessary, and it will work. It's just like it's not mandatory. This is not a first pick item in most situations. In fact, even when you're playing Ying, most people just go for like Chronos and whatnot. They don't even bother like straight away for morale. Some people do. Like maybe you're playing Ceres, some people prefer the ultimate. But even then, like even today, with Resilience being cheap, anybody can just buy Resilience for Ceres. Ceres just becomes a heal bot and that's it. So you buying morale, it's not going to change anything because that Resilience is going to save them. So if the only good choice for Ceres at this point, if you don't want to go for Chronos because it's a low cooldown, is maybe Haven. So, you know. Alright. Rejuvenate. I'm going to put it at C. Just because this currently is supposed to be 10, 20%, 30%, and it's bugged. It's not actually like that. It just says it on the description, but it's wrong. Until it's fixed, I don't want to talk about it. That's it. Deft Hands. I'm going to put it at B. Though, like, it's not necessary, but it is definitely very, very good. It can save you sometimes. It is not the first item you need to buy most of the times. Again, it is only required sometimes, like Dredge and Damba, sure, okay. But it isn't super bad and it isn't super good. It will be depending on your playstyle. That's why I'm putting it right in the middle. Wrecker, I'm going to put it maybe at A. Just because like people like Fernando Ages is ridiculous. It's there every time, every single time. You either ban Fernando or you pick Fernando. It's always going to be the same goddamn thing. Barrack, same thing. Barrack doesn't even have like very big cooldowns for his barrier, plus his ultimate now has less HP. Anybody, like you playing a Betty and you have like Wrecker, you just destroy that shield, but it's not even necessarily 100% necessary, but right, like people will just wait the ultimate out, or throw like a Fire Nade or something that has like AoE that can just either negate the area around it, or they just go inside and some of the times they even destroy the turret. But I feel like it's a huge risk for no reason. So most of the times, it's not like the best item, but it definitely should be required every single time when you're playing in like in a two tank comp, where one of them is heavily into the shields, like Fernando, possibly like a Barrack. Obviously, like I'm ignoring Half Shell because for me, Half Shell is one of the most disgusting things that exist in this game, and I hate it. I hate it from the bottom of my heart. I hate that such a big dome is there, and the best counter to it is not to shoot it. I really hate it. I'm sorry, I just cannot. It doesn't work with me. This D tier. It is super bad right now, not worth the investment. It is super crappy. You either increase the percentage of it or decrease the price on it, but honestly, not even gonna bother. Morale nothing, sorry. Master Writing. Master Writing is another one of those items that it's only like when really necessary. That would be for like ice mine maps and so on. Maps of that sort, or unless you're basically dying a lot and so you decide to go for it. You'll see that not a lot of people buy it unless they really, really have to, right? Nimble, I'm gonna put it at C tier. It's crap right now, I'm sorry to say. Like, I don't like the percentage they nerfed it down to. It's cheap and you can buy it, but most of the times you'll find yourself needing something else way more like to survive, like Resilience, Haven, Veteran, like always having those three, and even sometimes Kill to Heal. These are the four main items right now that everybody's buying when it comes to like survive as long as possible. So Nimble, for as cheap as it is, sometimes it's actually a trap. As soon as you buy it, you lost that little slot there, and you're like, dude, but I needed resilience and I needed maybe illuminate right now. What am I gonna do? Like, and you're gonna have to go for resilience, and you're gonna have no illuminate, and sometimes you'll die because of issues like that. And finally, obviously, this is not cauterized. It is the lethality item that I mentioned. This one is a hard one because this one is based on my preference. But I don't want to put it all the way up there either. Like, not in a million years. There's way better stuff. I might actually put it on C, where it's okay. It works. For me, the biggest flaw of it is the entire losing momentum thing. That's extremely painful. I like the fact that it's for eliminations. I like the fact that they increase the time. I don't think the jump height was necessary. Like, literally no use for it. It sometimes even gets you killed because you're just like staying in the air, easier to be tracked, and just like you cannot strafe in the middle of the air, as you understand. Easier to do on console than PC, so yeah. But yeah, there you go. That's the tier list for the items of Paladins. This, again, remember, lethality. And remember one more time, just one tiny little thing. This is a personal tier list. It does not mean that this is official. It does not mean that what I'm saying is correct. This is based on my experience and what I think. So if anybody has any other like stuff that you want to suggest, like, oh, maybe you want to consider about like resilience or something like that, hey, feel free to it. I'm not gonna take any sort of offense to any sort of feedback or how does it say? It's not feedback, like reactions or comments about what I said here on this video. So it's fine. Go ahead and say whatever you. Just be honest, you know. Just go ahead. I'm completely fine about it. So there you go. This is my tier list for the items currently. It is December of 2022. Right, so you just have a little bit of idea. Season 6 is starting, I think. It's going to be starting on January or something like that. So we're pretty close to a new rework of this entire thing. So right now at the end, that's why I wanted to just drop this, because in the start of Season 6, maybe they will change a couple of these items. So I don't really know what's going to happen. So we'll see. But thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. And until then, have a wonderful time.